Hello, welcome to the latest breaking news. In this video, you will see important news on USA trending and breaking. Please like this video, subscribe this channel. UConn's Texas prediction, picks, and odds for tonight's college basketball game. Sunday sees a top 25 showdown in college basketball as the UConn Huskies play their first true road game against the Texas Longhorns. UConn will hope to see the return of Alex Caravan while adding a second win over a Power 4 foe inside a week. Texas looks to build off a 4-point win at NC State by picking up its first-ranked win of the season. I explain why the home team is in a better position in my UConn versus Texas predictions and college basketball picks for Sunday, December 8. UConn has lost 3 games already this season, all of which came away from home in the Maui Invitational. It started with a 2-point overtime defeat to Memphis before losing by 1 point to Colorado. The Huskies ended the trip with an 18-point defeat to Dayton, a costly defeat as Alex Caravan hit his head on the floor with just a few minutes remaining. The lasting image from Maui was of Dan Hurley complaining to the refs about calls, and when you look at some of the numbers, it makes sense as to why. In those 3 games, UConn posted a foul rate of 35.5%. That number is nearly 11 percentage points higher than the foul rate the Huskies have in home games. 3 different UConn players fouled out against Memphis, while 2 were sent packing in the loss to UConn. Samson Johnson was disqualified in both contests, and the 4-point win over Baylor on Wednesday saw him foul out for the 3rd time in his last 5 games. And against Baylor, he was one of 4 UConn players to end the game with 4 or more fouls. Now, as the Huskies play their first true road game of the season, they do so having seen their foul rate top 30% in the last 3 games. That's going to be a problem against a Texas team that ranks top 100 in free throw rate and 85th in defensive foul rate. UConn has been a terrific rebounding team this year, ranked top 40 in both offensive and defensive rebounding rate. Caravan is expected to return after missing the last 2 games, but he, Johnson, and Terrace Reed-Jr will be facing a front line anchored by Arthur Kaluma. The big man just grabbed 15 rebounds against NC State and has been a big part of Texas having the top 2 pints defense in college basketball. And while UConn ranks top 15 in 2 pints defense, it ranks 294th in 3 pints defense, and Hurley has spoken at length about having to improve defensively. Texas ranks 64th in 3 pints percent, and while the Longhorns don't attempt a high number of efforts from downtown, they made 8 of 17 attempts against NC State and might up their output given the matchup. Texas posted its best offensive rebound rate of the season against NC State, hauling in nearly 40% of its misses. That's an area where UConn has struggled at times. The Huskies have played 3 teams in the top 75 of KenPom, and all 3 hauled in at least 30% of their misses, including a 39.4% OR by Baylor. This simply isn't the same UConn team from a year ago, and even the return of Caravan doesn't change the fact the Huskies have looked disjointed at the defensive end. And while Texas has feasted on plenty of cupcakes this season, the road win at NC State was a strong one and instills more confidence than what I have in the Huskies. Given their shaky defense and foul issues, UConn has little margin for error in this game. The Huskies will keep it close, but the Huskies will find it tougher to get quality shots than they've been used to this season, and the raucous Longhorn faithful will give the home team enough of a boost to get the job done. Kaluma has 5 or more rebounds in all but 1 game this season and is averaging 8 boards per game. I expect he'll be crashing the glass often against a UConn team that doesn't turn the ball over very often, and he'll reach that floor again. In their 3 defeats, the Huskies allowed opponents to make 29 of 55 attempts from beyond the arc. Johnson is averaging 7 3-point attempts per game and has made 3 or more in 5 of 8 contests, with an average of 3.3 makes in home games. Learn how to bet a same-game parlay with these helpful tips and strategies.